In looking for a new global paradigm to address global change, education occupies a central place. Education is one of the determinants of the employability and productivity of the workforce. And it is perhaps the best safeguard against extremism. It ensures peace and stability. And we also see that higher levels of public education enable intelligent action for the environment, for cultural differences, and education is also essential for the functioning of democratic forms of governance. Now, there is a very huge gap between the educational potential and the existing levels of education all over the world. In the developed nations, it is largely a qualitative gap between what is offered and what is required to equip the students for the future, as we witness in the rising levels of unemployment. Whereas in developing countries, first the quantitative levels of education are far below the levels in the West. For example, in India alone, additional 100,000 new colleges need to be established just to raise the quantitative educational standard to the current US level. And then comes the quality. These, quantitative, qualitative gaps, all these, they require major revisions in education. And for that, this online learning, education through the internet, that is a solution, and that offers many significant advantages. One is quality. Education over the internet, this online education, it can deliver the best quality, world-class education to all students everywhere. Studies now confirm that the quality of online education can equal or exceed that of the traditional classroom learning. Imagine a world university in which videotaped lecture of the world's best instructors are available to students all over the world. And with internet, it is not just the videotaped lectures, because multimedia makes possible so much more. E-books, video, audio lectures, which can be played again and again, illustrations, animations, even movies. Imagine learning geography through a virtual visit to the actual place studied, or science through films of actual experiments, or conversations with famous scientists who live halfway across the world. And then the question of language, online courses and teaching materials, they can be readily translated into multiple languages. And when it comes to expansion, expanding a traditional education facility, it is slow, it is expensive, it involves a lot of paperwork, sanctions. Online education, it can be expanded very quickly, easily. And then come the teachers. Already, developing countries, they face a critical shortage in the quantity and quality of instructors. In India, 40% of the faculty positions in well-financed central universities are vacant, and it is higher in state-run universities. This would be addressed by having education over the internet. That also allows over the internet. And then syllabus revision in many colleges. Instructors teach what they studied 10, 20 years earlier. Syllabus revision takes place at best once every few years. I know personally because I have studied from textbooks written 20 years earlier, and the subject was computer science. So online courses, they can be rapidly updated to keep pace with all the advances. What is done once every few years in traditional colleges can be done maybe once every few months even. So that so much more is possible. And then the cost. In a world where the cost of education is rising rapidly beyond the reach of many students everywhere in the developed and developing countries, online learning, it represents a way to deliver education at a fraction of the cost. Like there is roughly a $1 trillion outstanding student loan debt in the US alone. So Making education online can reduce the cost to 1/5 or 1/10 of the cost of the traditional classroom education. So all these advantages, they provide a compelling justification for major efforts to expand online education in all over the world, in all the countries. This already is happening. There are universities, especially in America, in Europe, that offer online education. They do offer degrees, and and then there are now the what is called the MOOC, the massive online open courses that have been put online by major universities and by lecturers online, freely available to students all over the world. But no, so what we actually need is something more different, more radical. The existing universities that offer online courses, what they're doing now is a bottom-up incremental approach to expand the reach of their existing system. What the world really needs is a global system designed from the beginning with the future needs of all humanity in mind and tailored to deliver world-class education to as many students who seek it, wherever they are in the world. And we could refer to it as the World Virtual University. Students everywhere would benefit by it because for the 2013-2014 academic year, some of the top universities in the US, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, they have recorded 5 to 7% of the acceptance rate. So 93 to 95% of the students who apply to those colleges have been denied admission into those colleges. Whereas if we have this World Virtual University with that education that is available online, the 95% of the students who didn't apply, the students who cannot apply to Harvard, everybody can get that kind of education. Now, this could involve a number of organizations, the UN, the UNESCO, the national governments in the countries that seek to expand the reach of their educational network, existing public and private universities that are willing to lend their faculty, their course material, and text and multimedia publishing companies, and even individual faculty members, retired teachers who are willing to participate, to contribute to this. And the creation of a world-class global virtual university is basically the democratization of education, of knowledge, something that is open and affordable. And this is one of the most potent and effective means for preparing youth for the future that